Yo, what's up, everybody? Hitmanbk, and we're back with a video about a patch for Remnant 2. It has been a minute. We have not done a Remnant video in a while. Y'all haven't even finished the DLC, if I'm being completely honest. I need to get in there and finish that. There's a lot I haven't done. But man, this is just an exciting one. This is an exciting patch. I'm really happy that it finally happened. And for everyone who's still playing it or maybe going to get back into it, there's no better time than now with DLC 2, which feels like it's right around the corner, and crossplay being added. So let's just jump right into this. I'm gonna throw the intro. We'll go right into that, and we'll get right into the patch notes. I'll run you guys through what they just did, what just came out, and yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment if you like being here. I'm still around, still making videos. I do it for fun, and we have a podcast every week. And if you want, join the FC. Come join our Discord. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. Okay, Remnant 2 crossplay update. Read all the patch notes. Yes, sir, I shall. Remnant 2 patch. It's got 408,000 notes, y'all. Crossplay. They are thrilled to announce the addition of crossplay. It finally happened. A highly anticipated feature in Remnant 2. Now players can unite against the root, irrespective of their chosen platform. Team up with friends and discover open games across platforms and embark on journeys together. For console players, crossplay is going to set on by default. This setting will affect your ability to see other games, including friends' games, within the game if the crossplay setting is set to off. So you guys make sure you're paying attention to where your cross-play settings are on. And for PC, if you use any frame generation, it blocks the Epic Online Services overlay, which is required for cross-play functionality and joining friends. You can still accept invites using the Epic launcher prior to starting the game and join that way if you wish to use frame generation in the game. Sounds like you need to turn off frame generation if you're having a problem finding the cross-play button and your friends there. If all of you remember, before they did an Aberration event, they have another one that starts today in celebration of crossplay. The Root have seized yet another opportunity to unleash a horde of menacing aberrations across all worlds from February 29th to March 5th. Gear up and face this challenge head on. Defeat the sinister foes, collect the elusive corrupted shards, and head over to the Ignatic Dwell, where you will trade these shards in and, buy cool new weapons. I'm guessing they added weapons. We've added even more corrupted weapons to acquire. So there you go. There are more corrupted weapons now in this event. This is their second big Aberration event, and they figured why not celebrate it with the addition of crossplay. I wonder if it says in here what they did, or we might have to go. You might have to go into the game and see. I don't even know if I have it installed, y'all. So I might not be able to open that and see what weapons are in there. Other things. There's been quality of life updates. They've added support for FSR3 for my AMD people on PC. They fixed an issue for players who started with Gunslinger archetype from the pre-order bonus, but switched to a different machine or account that caused them to be locked out of their characters. And they've added support for friend invites for PlayStation 5. Balance. Deb note, while we have a large balance patch planned for DLC 2, so they're already talking about 2. Sounds like this is actually probably right around the corner. We wanted to make a few adjustments to certain elements to set the stage for the larger patch. While not comprehensive, these changes should provide a bit more room for experimentation before the larger balance patch. Okay, that's interesting. Seems to me like DLC 2 is probably going to happen pretty soon. Archetypes. Hunter, you're going to get reduced hunter focus ADS requirement from 1 second to half a second. This means players need only aim for half a second before hunter's focus bonus is applied. That's actually really good. Challenger, Die Hard will now grant 1 stack of Bulwark while it is unavailable. War Stomp now deals explosive damage. Oh, that's cool. We wanted to make Die Hard a bit more impactful since it's a prime perk. So while having an extra life is great, the 10-minute downtime is very long. Instead of shortening the cooldown, the challenge becomes tougher until Die Hard is available again. Okay. Medic, no changes. Medic's already powerful. What'd you expect? Calm down. Medic is very powerful. I love Medic. I was running Medic in all my builds. Handler, Pack Hunter no longer requires the companion to be up to grant the bonus. That's really good. Pack Hunter now increases melee damage and melee crit chance. Okay, 30%, 5% at max. And companion Howl sizes now affected by the Aurora size increases. Okay. When the companion went down after taking too much damage, the handler lost all damage bonuses. So now they only require the handler to be in the range of their companion. However, you should always try to get your buddy up, because that's the right thing to do. We've also included melee damage to their damage perk to make them a bit more burst off. Cool. So now it seems like you still get the bonus, even if the good boy's down. So that's pretty great. Gunslinger, they've increased quick draw charges by 1 and increased the damage by 50%. So this is great, y'all. This is just another round of buffs to change up the meta a bit. Summoner, you know how much I like Summoner. Dominator is going to gain explosive damage type. Yes. Dominator no longer grants a small damage increase to range and melee on sacrifice, and now always grants a bonus to mod skill explosive damage. Okay. They received much feedback from players wishing to play the Summoner as a more minion-focused archetype, so we removed the damage benefits to ranged and melee and added an explosive damage bonus, which works for sacrifice and all other explosive options, and made them always active. This should give more options for mod skill and explosive builds, while leaving ranged and melee to other archetypes. There are potentially more Summoner changes in the works. Yes, please. Go full like Necro in here would be crazy. Alchemist, they added melee speed, melee charge speed to Frenzy Dust. They added a skill reset if Thrown Vial does not find the group after a certain period of time, and enabled Flashcaster and Throw Speed to benefit Vial skills. This is great because now if something doesn't land, you get it back instantly. So Engineer, they added range damage to Metal Worker, max 25% at level 10, and turrets can now crit hit. That is fantastic. To make Engineer a bit more viable with a turret placed, we added a damage boost to the Engineer's range damage. So the heavy weapon itself is still considered skill damage. This is to benefit their primary, secondary weapon while not brandishing or deploying a heavy weapon. Okay. Archon, increase the damage of Chaos Gate from 15 to 50. Just buff the crap out of that. Why don't you? Chaos Gate now increases incoming damage by 15%. It lasts 10 seconds after leaving. That is awesome. Power Creep now properly allows mod generation while a mod is active. Nice. Dev note. We wanted to buff Chaos Gate while keeping the original design concept. It now grants a noticeable damage buff, but the trade-off is that the incoming damage penalty cannot be avoided by simply leaving the AoE. Players will need to be... so you're basically going to increase damage, but increase the damage you take. Okay. Makes sense. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for y'all. Invader, stacks of Shark, the prime perk, now fall off one at a time. They reduce the total duration of those from 10 to 15 seconds, and perfect dodge evade now instantly grants 5 stacks of said prime perk. So the original prime perk buff lasted 15 seconds total. There were many cases where it would fall off and require you to start building it all over again, thus making the invader hard to keep active. We changed it so that the buffs fall off individually and lower the individual buff time to 10 seconds. We will monitor durations to make. Okay, cool. So they're basically giving everybody a better way to manage those buffs and keep those buffs going. Explorer dramatically sped up the dig animation of Gold Digger. It was tricky for many players to get a handful of fountains going during combat. Oh, well, there you go. Ritualist Erupt now deals explosive damage. I love how they're just leaning into explosive damage. It kind of makes you wonder what this DLC is going to be. Deathwish now respects kinship trait again, but does not get reduced by armor. Deathwish no longer kills the player and will instead leave them with 1 HP. Cool. For gear and items, Atonement Fold, they disabled voice lines for I'm bleeding when worn. While not really a balancing issue, the consistent voice calls were pretty annoying. Yeah. Point Focus Ring, reduced spread reduction, 10% essentially. The Focusing Jewel, the spread reduction was reduced by 5%, and the recoil reduction was reduced from 25% to 50%. Let's see. Tranquility. Well, let's just read the dev note on these. Why did they make these changes? Spread reduction was getting out of hand. It's still incredibly strong. We haven't put a cap on it yet, but we may do so in the future. For now, we dialed in the numbers back a bit so that if you want to turn shotguns into snipers, you'll need to invest a bit more into it. Okay, so it's essentially a nerf here, y'all, to try to bring this into a more... balanced level. Feedback Mutator now generates mod power while mod is active, and reprocessed heart can generate mod power while mod is active. So we have weapon changes too. They fix scaling on the Anguish to properly cap. Crescent Moon, overcharged shots during Moonlight Barrage no longer shoot 2 bolts. The total damage potential of this weapon is unchanged. The only difference is that they no longer reward a non-perfect charge. You must hit perfect charges to reach maximum damage. Twisted Arbalist, the primary fire now refreshes any current Guardian mark on hit when the mod is active. The Nebula, the Nanoswarm, now applies a very small corrosive dot damage. That's cool. Huntress Spear, they added a small corrosive dot on hit, increased the projectile and charge speed. Spectral Blade, they removed the ability to scale with an AoE and the ARUA traits. I for some reason can't pronounce that word. This was never intended. It slipped through the cracks. So this is just fixing something that was broken. There is a handful of bug fixes here to progression rewards, to archetypes, and gear and items. And that's kind of like where this ends. These are your like light quality of life balance changes that have come with the patch. But the big thing is crossplay is here, and they're talking about DLC 2. I wager we get a date sometime past March 5th when the Aberration event ends. Are y'all still excited? Is everybody still playing this game? What do you think? Are you happy I made a video about it? It's been a while. Yeah, sound off in the comments. And you know what? Now it's a great time to join the Discord because now we can all play together finally. I'm Hitmanbk, and until next time, keep being good humans.